years I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Welcome back, guys. We are here for this grand finale of Match Me Abroad Season 2, Episode 14, Twin Flames. El Cid, how are you tonight?
I am doing quite well in this 86 degrees we have here in Atlanta. Doing quite well. Can't wait to dig in.
Yes, we definitely got to dig in. Yes, and it's a balmy 77 degrees here in the Detroit, that is Detroit, Michigan. Guys, drop down and let us know where you are from, if you can, or at least what the temperature, how the weather is weathering. And I'll go through these real quick. Good to see you. Cool to the fool us. My girl Team Bill with Geo. All right. And Be Amazing Sylvia, TB's Life, Design with Emma. Guys, if you are redoing your home or you just moved, definitely check out this channel, Design with Emma. Thank you. And also Pandy's Beauty and Beyond. Oh, there's somebody named El Cid in here.
Fancy that.
Fancy that. I wonder who that is. Yeah, she says saying hello to her El citizens and the rest of us here. All right, the 18 people. Let's see. Like, share, and subscribe. We say that all the time. Thank you for being here. And if you're new, be sure to like and subscribe on both our channels. That's LCid932, and that's actually Aubrey. Okay. Cross country cruise her. Hey all. All right. Welcome in. What did you think? Just brief thoughts on this week's episode, this finale. What did you think? Anything surprise you?
I think it's about time. I got a plane to catch.
You got a plane to catch? Where you going? To Singapore?
I felt like this season took forever.
You know what? I think because we didn't see a lot of romance, a lot of real strong romantic connections. A lot of people were giving off mixed signals. I think that might have been part of it. What do you think the reason was why it seemed like it was a longer season than before?
I don't know why, because these folks dated 2 or 3 people. It wasn't too wild. It's just about the same amount of episodes, maybe one extra, but it felt like forever.
Forever. Well, you know what? I will say this. If I could speak to TLC about this show, because I'd like to see them bring this back again next year. But what I would recommend is, why not have a 2-part reunion? Because there's so many questions. We were left with so many questions, and I needed to hear the words from the people's mouths themselves, not a little at the end. You got the little tag card or whatever you call that. I wanted to hear from the people themselves.
I needed to hear from the international folks, not just our US-based folks. I want, even if you're giving me that little tag, tell me what Kevin is up to. Tell me if anybody else has splashed Glenn with his drink. Tell me.
And I'm sure somebody has, I'm sure.
Right. Tell me what's going on here. And it's like, really? Tell me what Singapore Amber is up to. Don't just give me the US cast. I would like to know what EJ is up to. Did he open his gym in Bali? Do I need to head to Bali? I mean, to check it out. Tell me what's going on with the people they were dating.
Yeah.
What is going on with Bruno and Bernardo?
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you, all of it. I think, like I said, when I'm saying the reunion, of course, the international daters, we definitely need to hear from them. I would like to hear from people, some tertiary characters, like, for example, Singapore Amber's friend, I believe her name was Joe. I would
Hmm.
like I would like to hear from Joe. I would like to know, when Amber comes on and says her bit, I would like us to have a behind the scenes and have Joe on the sideline saying, the confessional, saying, well, that's not really what's going on. She's still very single and she's still giving mixed signals or whatever. I'd like to
Right.
hear that.
I'm still on Harold's side.
Because yep, I'm definitely on Harold's side on this one. I was like, oh no. And one other one. Uh, 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 we had, uh, good Lord. There's just some more people I need to see. Oh, with Monica, I wanted to hear more from Bruno. What really happened after, the devastation from last week? What's Bruno doing? Because I feel like when this show airs, I feel like his DMs are going to be flooded.
And Bruno has probably become a villain. He probably slicing and dicing through here on his rollerblades, okay?
Oh no, don't say
I'm
that.
not saying he could be. I would understand if he is. If your name Monica, don't ever approach him, I'm sure. But
Not even for the t-shirt.
not even for the t-shirt. Not even for the t-shirt. If you to get close, maybe an Onika, but he ain't going for no Monica.
Nah, nah, yeah, no,
But
nothing like
Louisa
that.
certainly showed that she has quality men on her Rolodex. So I'm sure her DMs are
Yes.
also on blast.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely she had the quality men. I really agree with that. And also I'd like to hear from was it not Katerina for Monica, but it was not Dolly, it's
Louisa.
Louisa. I'd like to hear what she has to say too. I really do, because you could tell by the way she said, well, we'll get to it in a second. What she said to Monica at the end. Yeah, like you gonna be calling me again, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, what's going on? Hey, T, to go to Africa, we definitely need to know who. Oh, we'll take that off the screen. We ain't got there yet, but yes, we really do. We have. Hey, El Cid and I have some serious thoughts about that too, don't we?
Exactly. Serious thoughts.
Serious thoughts, yes. So, let us go ahead and get started. And you know what? We start with the easiest one of them all to do, right? And that
The
would be our
AI
boy.
generated.
They have generated. Of course, Louisa never heard from Tony, because Tony, what? Tony basically abandoned ship.
With his rude behind.
We're very rude behind. And also, Louisa says she hopes that he gained valuable insight from the matchmaking experience and can apply them to his next relationship.
He
I don't
ain't.
know. I don't know if this man ever gonna have another relationship. I swear, I think he needs to get him a dog and call it a day, or a cat. Like they're always talking about cat ladies. He should get him a cat and just call it a day, because he is not relationship material. He's just not. And there we have Tony. Okay, now let's press forward on to our boy Harold. Harold. So we catch up with Harold, and he and Singapore Amber are on their date that we left off with, last week. They're still on the boat and they're enjoying each other. Now we kind of left off with a little bit of a cliffhanger, because he was telling her that he decided to extend his stay. And, we saw an expression on her face, but we really didn't get a real true reaction or comment from her. But she says that on this episode, she says that, you know what, that's okay, that's good. Um, he asked her for a kiss, and he went in for one. And what were you thinking, El Cid, when all this was going on? Were you feeling like she's still sending mixed messages even at this late stage in the game?
I mean, look at her expression. She looking like I'm gonna give you this kiss because we here.
And the
I would
camera.
not give you this kiss otherwise. I mean, she's pulling back from him, so it is mixed signals, especially when the conversation they had over dinner.
Yeah.
The conversation they had was very suggestive. So anybody would think that she wanted to proceed further with, physical touch, which, is a kiss.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's saying he's extending his stay, and the cameras won't be there during this extended stay. So, perhaps there's a other additional opportunity for them to get physical. But who knows? Who knows? I just don't really know. And Harold, do you think that part of maybe him being having autism, it kind of sometimes deters him being able to really have discernment on what people really mean, or that they are sending him mixed signals? What would you say about that? Because I don't know a lot about that.
Well, the social cues, are sometimes misinterpreted, but it can be misinterpreted with Harold, because Harold goes right in, and what you tell him, he thinks is factual, and he will take it. It won't be seen as innuendo. It's seen as, oh, that's what you want to do. Okay, that's
Mhm.
what you definitely want to do.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And that's what I was thinking too. I think it's kind of difficult for him to discern. Like you said, he kind of takes it as, it's factual. If you said it, it's true. And shout out to Unfiltered Dial Reaction uh, for dropping that monetary gift
Yes,
to
thank you
El
so
Cid.
much.
Yeah, thank you for that support for El Cid, and for watching all of the videos. Appreciate you, all of you that are here today. You guys have hung in here with us through this 14 episodes. You've been very good about that. To Go to Africa says, I think she had mixed feelings. She understood the challenges associated with a very long distance dating. Yeah, because we're not just talking about like in the next state, like if we were here in the U.S. We're talking about international long distance, which I've never done that. I don't know if anybody here has ever dated someone overseas in another country, and what that was even like for you. If you have, drop down in the chat and let us know. Something you said earlier, El
I
said,
couldn't do it.
yeah, I don't think so. Like for me, unless like I'm here in Michigan, unless they're over across the bridge in Ontario, then that almost is like another state. So for us here in Michigan, but no, other than that, like if they're over in Ireland or Brazil, no, I don't think so. But something else you had said though earlier, when you and I were just talking, you were saying something about Amber and the day to day workings, inner workings of being with someone with autism. Could you kind of go into that a little bit for our
Yeah, what
audience?
I was saying is that for Harold, who does have autism, and I'm only saying this, y'all, because I have some experience. My son, my youngest, is autistic. Um, he needs basically direction. So if
Hmm.
he is going to extend his trip, right now the show is giving him a lot of direction, is giving him a schedule, is giving him a filming time, it's giving him where to go, what to do.
Hmm.
What would help for him with Dolly, and you don't have to give him exactly a day-to-day everything, but it will help to say, hey Harold, why don't you look at, if you were living in Singapore, living separately from Amber, how would you fill up your life and time?
Right, right. How would you do that? Right. Um, would that have been something you think that maybe perhaps his matchmaker might have talked to him about, even though the cameras were gone? She's still his matchmaker.
His matchmaker could, but if she's not used to giving a gentleman that kind of direction,
Oh, okay.
she wouldn't know, because she, remember, she only met him, she was Harold was handed off by Katarina, who was his matchmaker before.
Matchmaker.
They're kind of teaching him the social skills, but I think for Harold, what, in any setting or any international place or anybody, but Harold definitely needs, that direction based on what we're seeing. Just say, hey, your day to day, you go to the grocery store, you go see a play, you go to the movies. I need you to act and do the things that you would do back home in Texas. How would you do that in Singapore? Would you go to the street fair? Would you go walking in the park? I need you to bring your part of you in Texas, your habits, your patterns, and
Oh,
see how you can, make that work in Singapore. Things may change, but the great thing with Harold is, it he loves to learn. So
he
in the
does.
right
That's
in
what
the
I admire about him. Sorry.
Right. So in the discovery, he will learn so much about Singapore that even if Amber here, Singapore Amber, doesn't have enough time for him during the day, it won't it won't fester because he will have a purpose of looking to live here so that even if it's not Amber he's with, that he
Right.
could still build a life in Singapore.
I think so because he said his job was. Did he say he could do his job remotely wherever he was?
He did say that. I think there's a different aspect of his job because the last thing we heard was Harold was doing like inspections at nuclear facilities. I don't know
Ah.
how we do that, but it could be he reviews reports,
Oh,
um,
okay.
and
Acts as a
reviews
consult.
compliance reports, and you could do that remotely.
Right, and maybe acts as a consultant. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very, very good point. I think he has a strong, stable financial background with his career and his training and whatever
Right,
degrees and certifications he has. It seems to me that he definitely is very strong in that area. The other area, I think that, like Harold pointed out, that if they had gotten together, married, and had a family, even if one or more of the children uh, turned out to have autism, like he said, she said, "Well, what would we do?" He says, "I know exactly what we would do. I would know how to get them early intervention. I would know how to help them with their studies and with their social cues. And you could also, of course, she could help with that too, of course, right?" And
right.
I thought that he was just very practical about everything. Harold has a lot of the characteristics that we ladies say we're looking for, but then when we find them, we think the guy is boring.
I mean, yes, we some people do, but you have to look at it from kind of like his lens. He is exploring this. The reason why Harold won't be boring in this setting is that everything is going to be brand new to him and he's going to be learning.
Hmm.
And he's open to it. So all of the different foods she had him try, he was really, really open. For me, for Harold,
Hmm.
unfortunately for Harold, it's not his personality. He has to Harold got to trim down. If you're in this dating world, you have to be marketable, and he does need to,
Oh,
make himself
physically,
more
you mean trim down his.
physically, yeah, physically attractive to the ladies.
Okay.
Unless you're in a society that views it as wealth, because there are
Hmm.
societies that view a more
Yep.
heavier set as wealthy because you're eating well. So
Hmm.
I think Harold needs to find his people, and he can and he will, but I think we've seen this is the second season we've seen Harold. Harold, don't come back for a third. Okay. I love you, but don't come back. Um we could
Carol one more season because I love watching him grow, and he has grown. I think this
yes.
season he
Yes.
grew so much. I would love to see if necessary, if he's not already in a healthy, happy relationship, and I wish all the best that he is. But if he is not, and he wants to do it one more time, I would be rooting for Harold. Oh, and I just wanted to make this clarification when I was saying the part about women, when a man presents as having many of the qualities, the characteristics. He's honest, he's hardworking, he's affectionate, he listens and adjusts himself as to the things that you kind of desire within reason. I was saying that about being boring. I wasn't saying that as a dig at Harold. I actually was saying that more as a dig toward Amber, just
Oh,
so everybody's
yeah,
clear.
yeah, just for
Okay,
clarity. Yeah,
just for
I
clarity.
got what you were saying. And you know what? The thing is that it's good for Harold or any of these daters to stay longer because you want to see the people without the trimmings of the staff and the cameras and the how are we going to interact on a regular, you know.
Hmm. And to go to Africa, yes, you have some excellent points here about that it's very expensive to date and to have to move. They didn't know each other very well. They would have to deal with cultural differences, fears of leaving family and friends and their support network if relocating to another country. Absolutely, to go to Africa, I agree with that. Absolutely. What would you say, El Cid, if this show, like I said, if it comes back next season, would there be a way that this show could improve those odds of the daters getting to know each other better? Maybe perhaps submit the potential international daters to the American daters online virtually first, where they could have conversations, or What do you
Well,
think?
they already did that. They did that. Monica got to see Bruno's
But she was
video.
the yes, but she was the only one, as far as we know. She was the only one that had that benefit of an advance.
Yeah, she did because nobody else discussed seeing that. I did like the
Mhm,
moments where Amber and Victoria had double dates or they met up with each other. I did like seeing that. I understand why they did not put, Sarah and Harold together. I understand. But I think they should have put Harold and Sarah as a double date because I think EJ would totally be a gentleman that would have been able to help Harold navigate in the, while he was extending his trip.
mhm. Okay, and so to wrap things up with Harold, excuse me, guys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So to wrap things up with Harold, we find out that Amber ended things with Harold shortly after his return to the U.S. And then we also find out that Harold met someone during the trip to Taiwan. Harold sure getting a lot of stamps in his passport, I tell you that.
Harold don't want to go home.
He don't want to go home. You don't think he likes living with his grandma? What is she, like 91 or something? She's
Yeah, but
cute.
she feisty. I like her.
She was feisty, and she seemed to know have Harold's number too. But anyway, he met someone during a trip to Taiwan, and he was planning to propose to this particular lady. However, he ended the relationship after she requested 150,000 from him. What do you think about that, Elsie? That's kind of an interesting turn of events.
I'm glad she asked before he proposed or before he married her. I'm
Yeah,
glad she asked before then, but it's kind of like, Harold, were you talking to this lady just on the phone? How many trips to Taiwan did you take? Because it's only been, a year.
right, right.
It's only been a year. So what are we doing? What are we doing, Harold?
Harold
Harold's
wants a family. Remember,
yes.
Harold told us that he did not want to be. How old was his grandfather? Was like 60 or something when he had
Right,
his father.
right.
Harold don't
Harold
want to
knows what
be.
he wants, but
He does not want to be a geriatric father. Now, there's a term we don't hear often, right?
right.
He does not want to be a geriatric father. He wants to be able to chase after them little chillin'.
Right, he don't want to be that much of a senior in having his children because then too I think what Harold is looking at is when you are that older you have to have a younger wife to bear those children.
Hmm.
So he probably also doesn't want that big of an age gap between him and his wife. So I understand Harold, but it's hard out here.
It's tough out here. It's tough out here for a player. To go to Africa says, interesting observation or information. One of her best friends, who was obese, lived in China, married a Chinese lady. He was very wealthy, though. So I don't know if she married him for his money or not. Harold may be wealthy and could eventually find a wife. Yeah.
He could because I do watch those videos as we talked before about those families and those
Hmm.
people who move to Thailand or move to other East Asian countries. And
Hmm.
there is and one I saw was a older black gentleman. He's a former medical doctor.
Mm.
He's in his 70s and he married a lady there, but she's a woman of a mature age. She has a granddaughter, and
Mm.
they kind of breathe life into him, he said, because he was living there anyway and he met her and it was nothing, no monetary, exchange like Harold is talking, but he said you got to take your time and meet people, live here, meet people, go out to the different events, and he
Hmm.
met her and they've dated and her granddaughter is like 13, 14. So it's a woman of a particular age. She don't
Right.
look it. She don't look it.
Oh, wow.
Um,
So
but
he didn't end up marrying this lady. This.
yes, he did end up marrying this lady, and
Oh, wow.
they're living very well. He does have wealth, and that's what he said. He does have wealth, but what he had was, this wife, and her family genuinely has accepted him, and welcomed him and taught him a lot about Taiwan and Thailand, sorry, and their customs and everything.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think love is there sometimes to be found. We have to be discerning. We have to get outside our homes and our little comfort zone sometimes to help in the process of love finding us and us finding love, because like someone said, you can't meet anyone if you're just at home 24/7, it's difficult to meet anyone and to really get your foot out there. I think a lot of people though are scared, especially
Yes.
we had this disconnect during the COVID, couple of years where everybody was in the house working from home, working remotely. I think that a lot of people, and myself included, I'm gonna share this, myself included, it's more difficult now to get out than it was before COVID. What do you think about that?
I'm not sure in what way, but I understand. I have definitely adjusted to a more in closer to home life. I
Mm-hmm.
used to go, a lot, not Atlanta, but at least drive an hour away for, a half hour event
Mm-hmm.
and come back. But I'm like more closer to home. Don't
That's
go
what I'm talking about. Yep.
right too far unless it's something I deem as valuable. So I would still go places, but it's like, am I going, valuing my time
Mm-hmm.
um is paramount. And to go back to the story I was telling you with the gentleman from Thailand,
Okay.
we also have the flip side of the misconception. He thought that he would find a lady who only wanted him for money, and the wife thought that he was an American coming there to just throw money at people and expect someone to, bow to him,
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
they both had to get over their misconceptions. But I just wanted to state that for them. But yes, it definitely staying closer to home. COVID has caused many of us, and for some people, it caused them to go further from home because you never know if there's another lockdown.
A question. How long would you say this timeline was from this gentleman meeting this lovely woman, mature woman, or as my friend like to say, seasoned? And how long was it before they got to know each other until they were able to take that trip down to the
He said it
altar?
didn't take long. I think it took about 6 months, if so much, because he said he ain't got long. He ain't got long. He said he has a lot more years behind him than in the front of him. Um,
Hmm.
he has a different life. He wants to still keep up with his American eating and stuff like that, and the wife accommodates him. And when the time came, because they've been together for a while, and he really liked her granddaughter, she
Hmm.
he welcomed having the granddaughter live with them because where they lived had a better school system. And he's like, it's been fine, it's been wonderful. He doesn't feel drained from them, and
Uh-huh.
they don't feel like he's trying to
Lord over them with his money and stuff like.
exactly I really love that interview. And he's a man of a particular age with a very how can I say it, he ain't got no lid on his mouth, and I love that.
Oh, no filter like you. I mean, like some people I know.
Like me, exactly. But he's really, really out there a little bit. He
Oh,
tells you
okay,
about
even
his health
more.
things because he wants people to know about Thailand. But
Oh,
you
okay.
had a question up there. Do you think COVID-19 causes some dating changes?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, I didn't. I put it back up for a sec. Yeah, because I was just thinking about for myself, as I mentioned, I'm one of those people that I feel like, I think that one of the processes that happened during the C-19 was that we, what am I trying to say? So because people were at home, a lot more delivery services became available, whether that
Right?
was DoorDash and whether you wanted to dine out at a restaurant, you want that restaurant's food, you could call up DoorDash and have it all delivered to your door within, I don't know, what, half an hour. Uh Even shopping. Like I find myself, and I don't believe, me personally, I'm just maybe too old fashioned to be doing DoorDash and somebody dealing with my food. I just can't get into that. But like shopping, I know now I go online sometimes and I want to pick up a few things. I just put it in the order and the next thing I know it's at my door and it's so convenient. So I'm saying that, so in terms of dating, if you're a single person and you're out and you would normally be out shopping wherever, or normally go to your restaurant to pick up your food, or even sit down at the table and have your dinner, you've now cut out those opportunities of meeting someone that's possibly single and looking to meet someone like you.
Girl, I was using them, food pickup or delivery service. I had friends like that. They, grocery pickup and stuff. Cause I was, freshly divorced, doing my master's. I got 2 kids at home. I had so much to do. And when food pickup became available, I jumped at the first grocery store in my area, which was about, 10 minutes, from my house. I jumped on it because it was a time saver for me. And if anything didn't look good to me, I would, of course, I looked in my trunk before I pulled off and I said, hey, this ain't good. Can I get another? Because it
Mm.
saved me time because, sometimes I can pick up the groceries and still take my son to soccer practice because I didn't have to, go up and down the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I had a girlfriend who was dating during COVID, and it was so fun to me. Not to her. So fun thinking of ways to keep social distancing and having a date. It was so awesome
Why? How?
because you have to think of, you want to spend time with the person outside, but you can't be but 6 feet away. And so I told her, y'all could go to any like parking lot, and I say each of you bring a picnic. And the guy she was dating had an expedition. I said y'all could open up the back of y'all SUVs, sit in y'all SUVs across from each other, and still have a picnic date. Just y'all ain't sitting on the same blanket. That to me was awesome. She was like, she did it. They had a good time, but she wasn't really for the whole social distancing dating. And I was like, okay.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that too. So, here in Detroit, I met a friend. I did meet some new friends during that time. And what would happen is on Saturdays I would go to our place, called the Eastern Market, where they have all the farmers come from around the Metro Detroit area and outside, and they bring their goods, and you would barter with them prices on apples and tomatoes and everything like that. And so they had a bar that was across the street, and a restaurant with the live band. And
Uh-huh.
I met this lady, and so we would meet up there every Saturday, and then she called me. We exchanged numbers finally, and she called me up a couple days before, and she said, "Hey, listen, would you like to go to this wedding with me? There's going to be a wedding, and it was held outdoor in their backyard, and it was a beautiful shindig." And it was so funny because the napkin said, "We survived, C-19 together, this couple," and it was so cute. The whole thing was just really adorable. So that's what makes me think of that. But now let's get back to this comment in the on the chat. So to go to Africa is saying, my friend has a college age daughter. He is gay, and he wanted to give his parents a grandchild. He didn't want his family to know that he was gay, and Harold seems effeminate and could want to do the same. Any thoughts on that, Elsid?
That's her thoughts on him. I don't get into that unless
Okay, gotcha.
Harold says, he is in that direction.
Hmm.
It may seem like that, but then I could, it may seem like that, and I understand why it may seem like that. He's a more gentler soul. But
Yes.
again, I know a lot of folks either who are autistic like Harold that are more on a you know,
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying, and I was just thinking that too. So years ago, I guess I must have been a teenager at the time, early teens or something like that. And I was discussing a guy who had moved into our neighborhood with his family, his wife and his children, and their dog. And I was saying, this particular person walks, kind of has a little bit of what we in our community might say a little switch. And my mom, would watch sit on the porch, and she said, in different groups of people, different races, and different groups of people, what is considered masculine or effeminate, it changes slightly, not totally, but it can change slightly, and it could be more demure, the word, more subtle, right? So I don't think, in hindsight, looking back, I knew this family for many years, even when we moved away, and we all went our different directions, went to different suburbs and left the city. um and I really don't think this guy was gay, but I don't know. He and his wife, they seem to be happy. They had two beautiful kids. And I think that sometimes our perceptions of other cultures is a little different, because our culture has different, maybe let's say, standards, boundaries, if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
preconceived notions.
Or preconceived notion. Yeah, thank you. That's more what I was looking for. So that's the thing I think about that. We have to be careful with that. That all men aren't running around thumping on their chest doing the things that some of our men do in our community. It's just a little bit different. That's the way I perceive that. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't see that with Harold, but
Yeah, but as to go to Africa says, she's referring to her friend in China. So maybe it's based on, as she said, based on that observation.
cultural. Could
Yeah.
be. Yeah,
That's
could
why I
be.
said the same thing. I said, Harold maybe heavy set, as she's, to go to Africa said about her friend in China. Maybe, he will have more success there. And especially with his knowledge, if he's in compliance and nuclear technology and stuff like that, definitely he would find a lot of success there.
Okay, yeah, and I see what you're saying too about Harold's weight, because even though I find him cute, but I could see where some ladies his age, because of course I'm not dating Harold, right?
Right.
Now we're not in the same age category group or anything, but and nor am I going to be able to give him any babies. So, but yeah, I think Harold's cute. I think around the face he's cute, but yeah, I could see. I think both of the matchmakers last season and this season have kind of been on Harold about his attire. Dressing a little more sharply, a little more up to date, a little more trendy. Doesn't have to be like super super trendy, but you know what I mean. Like
Yep.
what are people wearing now that looks smart? And I could see this year. It seemed like he actually put on a few pounds from last year, so I could see that, like you said, to be more marketable. And some women are going to look at it like this. This is just not nothing just superficial, but some women, because myself, if I'm looking for a mate, are going to look at it like if he's too much overweight to the point where he's officially medically obese, which I think Harold would probably easily fit into that category medically, not what some people would say. Um, it becomes a health issue. Like, I don't know if I want to marry this person and have children with him if he's only going to be around for another 8, 9 years because he's not taking care of himself.
And it could be too, with all of these things that we're looking at, these folks having international relationships, it's very hard to, because then you have to get to a point where the government has to get into your relationship. It may be difficult for Harold to get residency where she is there in Singapore. We don't know. And to have to go through that process, 90-day fiance of it all, to go through that process to have to either be a digital nomad or whatever, she probably is like, I don't want all of that added to a relationship.
Okay. Right. So, just in general, I'm going to say, to wrap up Harold, I would like to see Harold another season just to see where his growth takes him.
I will be harsher on Harold if he's here for a
We
third
will be.
season.
We can both be harsher, particularly if we see he's not working out. Well, let's be harsher on Harold. But I adore Harold, and I just think he's the sweetest. And I do believe that whatever woman does get him, she is just going to be he's going to be a joy to her. You know.
Yes, he just has to toe the fine line of don't smother her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so that being said, we're gonna move forward to our next dater. And this, I don't even know what to call her. I don't even know what to call her.
Monica.
Monica. Yes, as what is it? Not Bruno, but Bernardo. Monica. Say it again. Say it again. You're really good.
Monica.
I can't do it.
I will say it for you. This is how I call her, because I'm sorry. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. She is, Delulu.
Delulu, like she's into that. 40 plus years old, got a grown daughter in college, doing well, but she is still into this teenage fairy tale of the romance of it all. And I'm just like, stop, just no. You know, we see her, she goes to see the let's see, she has this event. Okay, so he comes over, Bernardo comes over, she invites him to come over after she unceremoniously dumped Bruno. She, like, within the next breath is calling for this guy to come over. He comes over, and she's telling him, I made a mistake. I ended things with Bruno. We're over. We're done. Like, it was all of like one day, right? The next thing you know, they go from the door to the bed. They're kissing, 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 as they would say on Ready to Love. She's looking all deep into his eyes, and then she tells him, by the way, what I need from you is, I'm going to need for you to call me more, because we're going to be doing this long distance thing. And oh, by the way, I'm going to pay for you. I'm going to pay for everything when you get ready to come to California. I'm going to pay for it all. I'm going to pay for your ticket. I'm going to pay for your luggage. I'm going to pay for your clothes. I'm going to pay for everything. I
You
was
getting
like,
flued out.
yeah, right. That's exactly what I was thinking. Right. She's going to flew him out. Like, I'm like, what? What is wrong with you? You are a beautiful woman. You are educated. You have a beautiful home. You're now, basically, your daughter is off and says she's not coming back home because she's going to go out and live her best life. You could have any man in your age group that you want to have. Why are you trying to flew him out? I don't want. Tell me, Elsie, what's going on here? Because I don't get it.
She best to be careful, because if I'm watching this and in the state of affairs we are in, his visa could get denied because you could be. Why are you fluing him out?
She better find a Brazilian man back at home in California.
Exactly. Why are you fluing him out? And that's the thing. She is leading with physicality. Yes,
And
she is
money.
attracted. She was attracted to Bruno as well, but
Mm-hmm.
Bernardo has got her whipped. He has got her whipped. He finally brings a bottle of wine. Okay, now that you've dumped the other guy, and now he's coming back. What does that say about Bernardo? You done picked a whole other man in front of him, kissed up on another man in front of him, and he willing to take you back. What does that tell you? If this was a woman, we would be telling her, don't ever go back there. Don't
Mm-hmm.
ever go back there. I will tell Bernard, don't ever go back there. Monica is playing you like a fool. It's going to be your turn come sometime when she done got enough from you. I'm going to tell him the same thing I would tell a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And here
Yeah.
she is. She probably can't even tell you what's good about this man other than he plays foot volley, but he don't want kids.
He played volley, and he played tongue volley with her tongue.
There you go. We like to measure each other's tonsils with our tongue.
There you go.
I mean, if this was a change in the people, we will be telling him, don't go. You are being used. But he may want to be used.
Oh, I
He
think
may
he
see this.
absolutely does. Mm-hmm.
Right. He sees this as he has conquered because, yes, she picked you in front of the matchmaker. But guess what? I came and slid to the side. You brought the flowers on the t-shirt. I brought the wine.
Mm-hmm. And I think wasn't that the red rose that Bruno had given her, was like in the backdrop for much of this scene while they were making out. And I was like, poor little Bruno's little red rose just drooping in the background.
No, we love it. Shady production.
Shady production.
She kept the flowers and didn't keep the man.
Threw him away. She threw the man away. What's the point of keeping the flower?
And Bernardo couldn't care less about your flowers being there. She could have been in his t-shirt. He
Oh,
would
yeah.
not care. He is a player. He feels like he has conquered and he has won.
Yep.
Because he's
And he
irresistible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We need a reunion. That's what I say. Yep, we need a reunion. I gotta reiterate that. The man made an excuse not to take, and that's the other thing. Thank you for that reminder, K Sharp. He's talking all this talk, and he stays over all night and leaves tiptoes out early in the morning. But
Walk of shame.
Walk of shame. But he can't take her to the airport. He can't ride with her. Even if you have to drive her, because as we saw with the other ladies, like I told you, the driver was going to take them. The men were simply allowed to ride along in the van with them. Or the car.
Because he got what he came for. Another notch on the belt. I don't need to take you to the airport for all that. Bye. Thank you very much for a good time.
Right. And K Sharp, you honed in on. Let me read the rest of this. The man made an excuse not to take it to the airport. Monica was acting like a desperate sugar mama. The man already sees her as easy access to money and possible green card. He will never develop real feelings for her. I absolutely agree, K Sharp. You nailed it. You nailed it
She became a
100%.
passport bro without knowing it.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. And then let's see one other thing she says. If a man will slap you down after knowing another man had you, he will never take that woman seriously. I agree. I agree. And I think I'm gonna say this comment because this comes up later in this episode with another dater that we know, right? I
Oh
think
yeah, it does.
that's a real thing what you hitting on right there. That's a real thing. Real good observation. Excellent observation. So we end up at the end they give us this Monica and Bernardo are now in a long distance relationship, and he has been taking more initiative with communications with her. Now, she had to tell him before she left what she wanted him to do. She wanted him to text her, even if it was just once a day. She wanted him. Now, how many of you raise your hands? How many of you believe that Bernardo is over there in Brazil with all them fine behind women? And I do mean fine behind, as in BBL. That he's not messing around with any of them, and he's being faithful to his long distance lover, Monica. Raise your hand if you believe that. Just raise your hand.
My hand is down.
Your hand is down. Why is your hand down? Your hand's supposed to be up.
He ain't faithful. He wasn't even faithful while she there.
Exactly. Exactly. Not even faithful, not even attentive, not none of those things. None of those things was he. I don't even think. And here's another thing. If I want to go back real quick to this the picture we had up a minute ago with him when he came through the door. I can't see it because she's this sweatsuit outfit thingamajig that he had on.
Low effort.
Low effort. Yeah, that was my point. Thank you. That was my point. Very low effort,
The
and yet
cheap wine too.
cheap wine. Cheap wine. Didn't even get the good wine. I mean, come on, it's just one bottle. She gonna be gone tomorrow, so you can splurge a little bit. He bought the cheap wine though. But don't you remember? Do you recall? Wasn't that you was telling us that when that couple of weeks ago when they were in the bar scene and the Brazilian bar guy said, "Oh yeah, she's American." And they kind of raised their eyebrows at each other and kind of winked at each other almost. You remember that?
Yeah, he's like, what is it like dating an American? He's like, just like any other woman. They're just a little feisty. I mean, yes, it told me everything.
It felt very like almost like transactional, like he's saying,
Yes.
she's American and she's easy, so you know how that is.
And she made it transactional because she said clearly as day she will pay for him. He don't have to pay for anything.
Anything. Like I can see, and that should have been off camera anyway, but I could see if that man needed a little help and you thought that was okay to do that, but you saying you're gonna pay for everything. I'm not paying for everything for anybody unless they're my minor child, and those are all grown now, so I ain't got to do that. But like, I'm paying for everything. What?
Right, and you had to pay for nothing with Bruno. Not even for the groceries he cooked for you.
No, Bruno went out of his way. Bruno had her at his home, which was a elegant, nice place, clean. He fed her a meal. He was all into her. Like, this woman is going out the world backwards. But she has the nerve anyway to tell the matchmaker that, yeah, this is what happened. I dropped Bruno after I said I wanted him. And then I called up Bernardo with a quickness and had him over to my pad. And then gonna look shy about the fact that she said, well, he didn't stay the whole night, but he stayed most of the night and left in the wee hours of the morning, like she's a teenager, like
Not
she's
just a right. Say it.
she's a whole teenager.
Oh, I thought you were going to stop it from whole teacher and say, "Whoa," because that is how you are acting. This man has come and he is creeping out the hotel room, creeping out, and like if you are just a pastime.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it does not look good. I would not be saying none of that. I would just say yes. I changed my mind when I had to think about it, and I saw Bruno. I thought the mature thing, like you taught me, would be to tell him to his face. I didn't want to text him. And so I broke up with Bruno and chose Bernardo. But Bernardo came with the quickness because he knew he was getting a whole lot of quickness. Okay.
Because she was desperate. It's that last night. And my thing was when she was telling the matchmaker, Louisa, oh, it was last night that I had to be with him. Well, girl, if you had chose him in the first place, you could have been with him 2-3 extra days. Like, what's the problem? Why weren't you woman enough to stand up and say, even though we know that the matchmaker was leaning her toward Bruno, was pointing out different flaws with Bernardo and saying that Bernardo may be a bit of a ladies' man. She didn't have to pick Bruno. She could have picked Bernardo.
Exactly. That's
Nobody
why
was
again
holding a pow to her head.
Right. That's why she said, she was that's why I keep saying she's Arrested Development. She's still acting like a teenager. This man didn't need to sneak out. He chose to sneak out. She's not picking up on all the red flags. She doesn't want a serious relationship with a grown up. Because I'm sorry, he just played her and she wants to be played. And it could be that financially she sees that as a dynamic where she has the power in the relationship. Maybe that is it too. I don't know. But Monica, waste of time.
Waste of time. Just a waste of time. Now they don't have to bring her back next season because I'm sure next season she'll still be single and they could possibly bring her back. But I don't want them to bring her back if this is how she's gonna behave and act. Oop, okay, Sharp, you're cracking me up. You are cracking me up, girl. The 304. Yeah, there you go. But they don't have to bring Monica back. I'm done with her. I'm through with her. We're good. We're good on her. Are we good on her, Elset?
Totally good on her. She could go and we could. I'll keep the flowers on ice.
Keep the flowers on ice. Now this is interesting. We get to our girl Sarah. Sarah from Houston, Texas, the designer, the bling bling girl. Who wants to have a guy to take care of her. So her guy, EJ, her match, he comes in and he's very excited to see her, gives her a hug. And here we see him giving her mother Kitty, who I think is an absolute doll baby. She is fine. She is gorgeous. And very practical too. I like that about her. Very practical. Gives mom a hug, gave Sarah a hug, and then they hop in the vehicle to head to the airport. And on the way to the airport, the mom says she's beginning to ask him some questions. She says, well, I understand that you have like a certain timeline in which you want to, wait to have children, but is that set in stone? And she said, I'm asking for a friend. And, she kind of winks at him. And she's just so cute. She's so clever. What did you think about this scene, Elsid?
It's so cute scene, and I'm glad you caught this pic because even the driver looked like he leaning to the side to listening too, because he listening for a friend. The matchmaker Dolly. But yes, mama basically wants to know what's going on, and I think here's the reason why I think mama did it, so that he doesn't have to hear it constantly from Sarah. It's a great way of being a wingman of he ain't got to hear it in Sarah's voice, and mama can, respell it for him in a different way.
And add some humor at the same time.
Because we don't believe that Sarah ain't tell her mama nothing.
Right. Oh, she done told her. She done talked to her. So I like it though. I mean, he kind of stands his ground. He's still saying that, his goal is his goal, in a nice, respectful way. And that this is what it is. They get to the airport, the three of them, and they do hug. And it just seemed like a very emotional hug. They held each other tight for a very long time. But then he's talking to production as the two ladies are walking away. And he says, this is sad. I feel lost, but I think that we are two people at two very different points in our life right now. And this is what we get from him. What did you think of that, Elsa?
I love this moment with EJ and he, expressing his sadness and expressing how he felt. EJ came to a point, and I felt in how he was speaking that he came at a crossroads of, I want to be with her, but being with her means compromising on my goals for the future. So he really made it to a crossroads and he had to decide. And he's like, it's a difficult decision. It's a
Yeah.
difficult decision. I'm
Very
not going to come across another Sarah. That's what he said. I'm not going to come across another woman like her, but I have to give her up or we can't be together. We're not a match because where we are in life is not a match.
Yeah.
And I much prefer a man tell you that and then string you along with the hope that 2 years from now you'll have his kids.
Right, right. You're right. You're right. I can respect that. I felt like all along, as we got to know EJ, I felt like he had this kind of character. Once again, where I say the character that we women say we want. Uh, he also had though the physicality that we wanted as well too, which is not often that we get it all in one package, right? He's honest, he's caring, and he's able to express his emotions with Sarah. He was able all along the way, once he got to know her from that very first date where she opened up and she was real and she was raw with him. Then he got real and raw with her and he gave it back to her, like he matched her energy, as they like to say, right?
Right. And then, Sarah too is a package deal. Sarah comes with her mom. I don't think, Kitty's going to sit back in Texas while Sarah's living her life in Singapore.
Oh, yeah, we had
All
this
that is part of the
discussion.
package.
Oh, okay. So you think that they would not, Sarah would not been willing to make the move to Singapore to be with this man and bring
She
her mom
would be,
along
but
with
her
her?
mama would come too. I have no problem with the mama coming, but you have to think about that too. They are
Oh,
basically each other's family.
well, yes. I could see, and maybe I'm wrong about this. This is my thought. I couldn't see EJ being upset about that because he seemed to really get along with Kitty, and Kitty was never heavy-handed with him. She wasn't one of those meddling type of mother-in-laws where, like, lady, know your place. She was always kind of like lighthearted with him,
She
and she,
doesn't have she doesn't have to be intrusive. She doesn't have to be
oh,
heavy-handed. She just is. Is just another person to put into the equation. Remember, EJ's parents are no longer here. He
right,
doesn't have siblings. It is just him.
hmm,
So to consider, a wife and her mom, creating a family unit in that sense, I don't know that EJ, even if he got it, can adjust to it because he hasn't had it in so long.
well, say that again. What would he not be able to adjust to? Having family, you
Having
mean?
a family, I don't know. He's so go go go. He's on his bodybuilding
Oh.
competitions. He's on building his businesses. He does say he wants a family, but is EJ prepared for all that goes into and all of the sacrificing once the babies and the wife is there and the in-laws, and is he prepared for all those people coming back into his life via his wife?
Right, right, right. Okay. And in the chat, they're saying to go to Africa. Hopefully, this is a very valuable lesson for her. Unfortunately, Cheryl wasted a lot of time and money to learn it. Yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. And K Sharp wants to say, EJ chose the logical decision for himself. I appreciate that he said it up front. He was telling this to Sarah the entire time. Bravo. I agree again. What do you think, Elsid?
Yeah, he did tell her the entire time. He's always been upfront. He said he's hopeful. Just like she stood her ground, he stood his ground. They weren't combative. They were just understanding of each other. It's kind of like, a lot of people have, not everybody, the person that you're like, dang, we will be so good together, but this is
Mm-hmm.
not the right time in life
I mean, yep.
for us to be. That's why Erica Badu said the next lifetime. I guess I'll see you in the next lifetime.
Right, right. Absolutely. Agree with you on that. Agree with you on that. And so we come to this juncture in the road where oh my goodness. The two of them, so EJ stopped, communication with Sarah after she went back to the States. And I guess that was his way. There was that closure that he gave her at the airport, as we pointed out, because he knew this wasn't going to work for the both of them. And so Sarah, she's now back in Houston dating a doctor who lives in Houston, but who was originally from Guyana. And she seems to be very happy. She says this is like her Prince Charming. Any thoughts on this, Elsid? Does she have a type, by the way?
She definitely has a type. He ain't as bulky as EJ, but she definitely has a type. And this one got more hair, but definitely. Well, how long has she been dating this doctor? Was she dating this doctor before she went to Singapore? And has she
Mm.
had Guyanese food? You know, being from Guyana is one thing, but is she open to the cultures of, that Caribbean slash South American country?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a little different.
Ah,
You know, it's
okay.
basically dating somebody from South America. It is different. So she went all the way to Singapore to come back to Houston to date somebody who has roots in South America. Make it
Okay.
make sense.
Why not? Come on now. These daters go across international waters and do their dating. If they don't find what they're looking for, or the things, the timeline is with EJ and Sarah didn't happen to match up, because they definitely had a connection, we felt, or I felt. But I mean, when you come back here, maybe now she's honed in on things. And one thing I want to point out, if you guys notice, I feel like in this picture, again, we don't see her with all the heavy makeup that she started off with in Singapore.
Right, she is not wearing heavy makeup. It looks very, very lovely and subtle, more like how her
Yes.
mother wears her makeup.
Yes.
Still no
Kitty, go,
ring.
kitty, go, kitty, go. I'm
Still
sorry,
no
go
ring.
ahead. You said, there's still no ring. It
Still
may
no
be
ring.
on its it may be on its way.
On the way from Singapore.
No, from this doctor right here. This
Uh,
doctor fellow.
Sarah, only advice I will give you, since he is from Guyana, one of the best quality gold out there. Let him get the if you're
Oh.
doing gold, any type of gold, get it from Guyana,
Oh, is
please.
that right? Okay. And
Yes.
another thing I just thought about too, as I was looking at this, I wonder what kind of doctor. What if he's a plastic surgeon?
We don't know, and I ain't searching social media to find him. I'm
Me,
sorry.
me neither, but I'm just saying it would be interesting if he was, because we know that Sarah does like to have things touched up here and there. Okay, to go to Africa. Fortunately, she found a man in the US. Hopefully, her unrealistic goals and irrational thoughts and behavior will not cause her to make more mistakes with this guy. Yeah, I
Mm.
agree. She found a nice young doctor. He certainly appears to be very handsome, and you're saying a doctor, so I'm assuming, maybe this is me, but I'm assuming he's a MD, medical doctor. So those usually come with a certain caliber of lifestyle and funds, right?
Right.
So this is what she wanted. She wanted a well-to-do, successful guy.
Hmm.
So we'll see. I'm sure we'll hear more about her later. Let's see, find out what else. I hope she's not going to be a victim of a green card seeker. Okay. Okay. Any thoughts on that, Elsit?
I don't know, but he definitely, for some reason, he looked younger than her. I don't know.
He does. That's what I was just about to say too. I do think he looks younger than her. Um, and I guess what I was going to say, my comment to the last comment, going back here a second, about the green card. I think if he's a physician, he's probably got an easier path to the green card in the States, because we are low on people with technical skills here, right? So we import
Not happening.
what? What do you mean?
Not happening. I have known people come here as MDs, and the medical boards of the different states do not honor their medical degrees from their country. If he's a doctor, it has to be earned here in the states for them to honor it. There are a lot of people that have to go through a lot of hoops.
Okay, now you're actually absolutely right on that, because my doctor did have to redo all of his papers and stuff. You're right.
Yep.
But I'm just saying, but if he's technical like that and he's a doctor that is licensed here in the States, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere.
Right.
He'll be right
Right.
here if he wants to be.
Right.
Yeah. And let's see what else is being said. And I'm sorry guys, I'm doing a little wincing. I've got some tendonitis and some things going on. So I do apologize. I'm doing the best I can. Okay, Sharp says, Sarah, he is handsome, but hide your hide your hair products. It seems like Sarah wants to explore other cultures without deeply understanding them. And where is the ring? Oh,
Mm.
she's saying the same thing you're saying. Where's
Hmm.
that ring? Because she got her left hand thrown out there. We actually do see a ring, but it's just not on the ring finger, so it's on the wrong finger, right?
Right. Totally wrong finger.
Good point. Good point. Good point. So we're gonna move on to our next dater, And that would be this person right here. Uh, or these two people, or this person, that would be Victoria. Victoria finally did find out that Darren was able to go to the airport with her. He came in with a bag with a book for her to read on the plane on her long trip back to the US. He tells her, well, my phone died. That's the reason why I didn't call you back. And what had happened also was the dog got loose, and I'm the only person that can catch the dog. So I was running for so many hours that I could not call you, nor could I come see you, because I was chasing after the dog for like all of 15 hours, not 15 minutes. What did you think of his excuse?
Do you hear that? The violin that's playing?
The violin is playing the little tiny violin.
The tiny violin is playing, and I don't believe that the dog ate your homework and then ran away into the woods and you had to find him. Sorry, I don't believe him. It is a crock of nonsense. I'm glad she said, "Oh, really? Did you check, your notes with Glenn? Because it's the same excuse he gave,
Yeah,
Amber."
yeah,
He's like, "Oh, he did." See?
He said, well, he scratched his head for a second, and he said, well, oh yeah, but the dog got loose too.
Right. Phone lost power. Oh, the dog. Oh, okay. Really? I'm the only one that can wrangle. Please go away. Yes, Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake. Cry me a river.
We better not leave our day jobs.
Girl, that's exactly how it sounded to me.
It cry me a river, huh? But she said, like you pointed out, she said, I'm gonna let that go. I'm gonna go along with it. And she says, but I'm gonna put a little note there, a little pin in that if we have some issues in the future, I'm gonna come back to this. So that was her way of dealing with it. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, the hair thing is not a problem, having a ponytail. I mean, having long hair, because doctors do have long hair, and some of them pull it back in a ponytail. They do various things with it. Some of them have locks. I've never seen where that's been a problem. Again, get that paper and a certification. That really matters in life, right?
Check his license with the Texas Board of Medicine to make sure he's a legitimate doctor. Okay.
And like I said, I assume medical doctor, because that's the first doctor that comes to mind. He might be a PhD doctor. He might be a doctor of psychiatry. Who
Then check with the
knows?
college to make sure he does have a PhD. Everybody willy-nilly going out here telling you about they have a doctorate. You ask about it, ask about the school, and you can call and verify someone's credentials at a college or university.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is so true. That is big truth. Hold on, guys. I gotta just give me 1 second to reposition myself here. Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, like I tell my folks, last Friday I say trust but verify. There's nothing wrong with verifying whoever you're dating, verifying the story they are telling you. Don't just eat every piece of oatmeal that they're feeding you with a spoon.
You know what? Stay tuned. He's always got something smart to say. Stay tuned. Review says he might also be a rapper, i.e., Dr. Dre.
Exactly. Exactly.
Dr. Guy. Maybe he's Dr. Guy.
Right.
Uh, but you did say we're able to bring Victoria back next season. You did say that, right?
Yeah, I don't mind having Victoria back for another season. Just don't take her to Ireland. Victoria, expand your scope. I'd like to throw her to Brazil. I'd like to see her try to wade in that water in Brazil.
Oh my goodness! Now
But she may want to go back to Ireland. I don't mind.
Yeah, but I was just thinking that's interesting that you said Brazil though too, because I feel like the culture and the warmth of the people is a little more physical, and we know that she doesn't like to be touchy feely, so that actually would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, because she'll learn to dance, and she'll learn to dance with a partner, and that would allow for touching.
Yeah, there you go, girl. Come on, we already got this season mapped out now.
Mapped out.
But TLC, you must give us a 2-part reunion. Just remember, 2-part reunion. We have to do this. We got to find out what the international daters are really thinking and what their side of the story is, because we're not getting that right now, and that's a little bit messed up right there. Okay, so they're riding on the way to the airport. So we get there. They're at the airport, and they have their hug and their kiss, and they say goodbye. And then the producer steps in and says, "Well, wait a minute, you guys kissed." And the producer says, "Well, wait a minute, this the first time?" And she says, "No, we've kissed before." Shoot, a kiss. Remember that night when Amber got lost from us? Well, we dipped out and we went back to my hotel, and he spent the night. And then the producer says, "Well, did y'all do the, did y'all do the do?" And she just starts laughing and giggling, and that was all we heard. What was your take on that?
Yeah, she did it. They did it. They slapped skins.
They did. They slapped
They
skins.
did. I'm not gonna go into how much Guinness was involved, but you left Amber to
Yeah,
go get some.
she sure did. That's what you had mentioned the last time you said that. You said Victoria, she rolled out on our girls, and I said, yeah, I don't think she did it intentionally, but now I'm beginning to think she did it intentionally. Now at
Heck
this point,
yeah. Heck
hmm
yeah. And sorry, I'm sorry, Amber. I probably, not for Victoria's Day, but if I'm into the guy, I would probably leave you too
oh
because
my god,
at some point you block in, okay? Because
don't be a blocker.
right, it's like either you're helping me on my mission or you're blocking my mission. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So they had that little Guinness throwback, and her and old boy Darren decided to go back to the hotel and slap some skins.
Heck yeah, it's like Amber's grown. She's 30 some years old. I don't need to
Oh
babysit
yeah.
her.
True. Now that is true. I just thought, with them being in a foreign country and they supposed to be like, like the sisterhood and all like that. I just would have thought she would at least told her, "Hey, look, I'm about to go get me some, girl. I'll talk to you later."
Victoria ain't touchy feely. She ain't about them PDA and all them feelings and stuff. She ain't really feeling it. She ain't gonna be. She don't strike me as the type to be about the sisterhood and making sure you get back to the hotel.
Okay. Okay. Well, we find out at the end of the day of all things that Darren did fly to New York and spent the holidays with Victoria, because he talked about it at the airport that it would have to be within it would be about 4 months, because he had to get the time off, and that he said it would be a working holiday, but he would come to New York. So he did actually come.
Okay.
He
How
he
did how
he
did he work?
came. He
How did he
came.
work?
He
Mm.
came. He came. He came again. He came. He came in Ireland, and then he came in the
And he came several times in New York. I'm sure more times than he came in Ireland. I'm sure because he
Well,
came once in Ireland.
they,
See, you can't even get it out now.
I sure can. You're so snarky. You are so snarky. I tell you that. Well, they had more to work with when they were in New York. They had more time to work with, and
Yeah.
and then they could compare their tattoos as well now.
Right now, he probably got another tattoo that she suggested. But hey, it's a great thing. He made the effort, Yeah, Kevin. He made the effort and he came to New York. He came for the holidays. She didn't have to spend the holidays alone. He met her dog. Remember, she said, I really can't
Oh,
live with you or say I love you unless
until
you
you
met my
met dog.
dog. Now, is the dog the only thing that bit him? We don't know. We don't know.
Good Lord. Oh, wait, what you say? Victoria is no sweetheart. You should have nipped that in the bud, because you're on a mission to date that leads to marriage. No excuses for him not to have called you back. Yeah, yeah, that part, that part. But she's again, I think we have another case. We talked about this with Monica being arrested development. I think we kind of see the same thing though also with Victoria.
Yeah.
She is not her chronological age. We know that she's in her late 30s, almost 40, but mentally, emotionally, she's still back in that time when her father was incarcerated, and she would reach out to him and he wouldn't respond to her.
Right.
So she is not grown past that. And I think this is another dater that would benefit greatly. I really think she would. She would benefit greatly from therapy to find out the triggers that she has was causing them, to help her begin to concentrate on healing those father wounds that she has. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a nice person, but you're right though. If she's dating for marriage, and I don't know, did this one say, is she one of the ones that said she wanted marriage? But I thought she said she just wanted a long term partner. Or am I incorrect? Help me out, Elsit.
She did. She did want to be with someone.
Yeah, but long term, like, because with some people, the partnership is not necessarily doesn't have to necessarily be marriage. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah, not necessarily.
Yeah. K Sharp says, "What a friend! What a friend." Let's see what does this one say. They never shared who or what he worked for. Ah, well, didn't he work at a bar? I thought Darren was. He worked at a bar, and he was also a comedian, and
Yeah, he was a
building up.
comedian. He said he worked in construction before and he getting this comedy stuff going. So that's why I asked where and how. Did he come on a visitor's visa or work permit? You know the type of climate we in.
Ah, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay,
He
right.
could have come on tour with a group of Irish comedians. That could happen.
Hmm. What do you think about to go to Africa? As I comment that maybe she appears to be the type that doesn't have a lot of friends. Any thoughts?
I could see that, if she left like Amber, does Amber still talk to her? I mean, come on now, she left Amber, but she had the one
Yeah.
friend to help her, pack, is what I said in the chat. But hey,
Mhm.
she does new friends like she did Amber. She probably don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true because yeah, she doesn't seem to be, like I said, a little disconnected from her emotions too, is what I feel. She just feels like a little bit disconnected, maybe because of past hers with her father, losing her grandmother who raised her so young in life. It just seems like it's a lot of void in her life that she hasn't worked to figure out how to feel that, and how to also feel it from within, like like loving yourself, right? Loving
Right.
yourself and creating this life that you want is part of the cure, I think. She may be a good friend for a moment, but not not a serious one. She comes across as kind of sneaky. Okay, okay,
She
I can
snuck
see
out. She snuck
she's
out
not
and left Amber.
sneaky, yeah, indeed sneaky. I get it. I get it. Okay, and speaking of Amber, here we go.
Mm.
So we find Amber. Oh, I'm sorry, I get the wrong one. Find Amber. She's waiting at her place, and we see Kevin. He's across the way from the hotel, and looks like he's kind of deciding whether or not he's going to make the venture over to the hotel. And he finally does. He knocks on the door. She answers the door. There he is, and she says, I can't believe that you made it. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad. And she gives him this, oh, gooey, do I look like, oh, I could just eat you up, baby. And they sit down on the bed and they hug and they hug and they kiss and they kiss. And my thought was like, okay, so where's the part where she talks to him about what happened? And she takes ownership of selecting the other person and finding out that that really wasn't her person, and that she wished that they had spent more time together, but magically that never happens.
Or it was cut out. Or it could
mm,
have been cut out because
it
it
could have been. This is an edited show. You're correct. It is an
right, but
edited show.
but it didn't sound like a reconciliation conversation.
Yeah, because I mean, what would you, if you had your brothers, what would you have had Amber to say, to speak to him, to speak to his heart in his last day there?
Well, certainly apologize, not, giving him, any time, but, she probably thought that he would be fine since he distanced himself before. But definitely, stressed, a good of a time and what she's learned from him, because it's one of those, like, we done, but I don't want us to leave with any hard feelings. I want you to know that I made a mistake in
Mhm.
choosing the other person, and you're a great guy.
Oh, okay. So you're understanding and recognizing that this point is done, other rather than maybe having any hope or inspiration that it could be not done. That's
No,
what I'm.
because she chose the man that's more exciting. She wanted excitement. It's like, no, bye. If I was Kevin, I wouldn't even show up. You showed me who you were.
Well, now on his end of it, I agree with you that Amber definitely made some missteps and some mistakes and some poor choices. But on his side of it, we kept hearing from Katarina that he liked Amber. He really, really, really liked Amber, that he cared for Amber, but we never heard none of those words come out of Kevin's mouth.
Well, he really, really, really needed to show it and say it. We didn't hear it or see it.
No, that was the other thing I was about to say. You're right. We did not see it because I felt like if we had seen it, we would have seen things like we would have heard her saying, "Oh, look at this wonderful text he sent me on today, even though he knows we can't be together, or he called me, or he video chatted with me, or he sent me some roses or things like that." I mean, we didn't see that. I mean, he didn't do anything until that final the getaway at the castle.
And she went on a getaway with him. He's the one she went on a getaway with, and he still fumbled the bag. She didn't go on a getaway with Glenn.
No, she didn't.
She just went bar hopping. She spent more time with him, went cooking class, bar hopping.
Bar hopping, yeah, that's about right.
But Kevin didn't make an effort. Kevin is kind of like, well, she chose somebody else. He didn't even try to make an effort of like, hey, can we go out tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she clearly told us she did not tell him the last episode. She did not tell Kevin that was just going to be a friendship thing. She said she didn't tell him, so she had a chance. She should have been dating both of them before she was leaving, and then have to decide on the way to the airport who taking her to the airport.
Are you saying that she should have spent her time equally among both men?
Right.
Ah.
Right.
Okay. Well, then, I'm just thinking about this. Do you recall the time, maybe about 4 episodes ago, where she said, she had sent this text and she asked him what he was doing, and it was basically like he was saying he was doing nothing. I'm paraphrasing now, obviously, but he was not doing very much. And she was like, well, I'd love to see you, or if you could come or whatever. And then there was no response from him. So there were times where it seemed like he wasn't working, he wasn't busy, and yet you're right, he wasn't seeking to spend time with her. So how could they get to know each other better? How could they build on a romance when he's not really participating,
Right. You can't build on anything like that. You really can't.
Nope. And he knows
he's in his feelings because she dating other people. But dude, this is what you're in for. People aren't dating just one person.
Right. Why are you signed up with the matchmaker if you think it's just going to be the person that you meet is just going to only be dating you? You guys are all at an advanced geriatric age, you and her. And she obviously wanted to have children. So we find out that she doesn't hear anything more from Kivan when she gets back to the States. She runs across a former co-worker that she worked with for a brief period of time, and the news is that she is now 6 months later, and she is expecting a baby.
That baby looked more than 6 months.
I know. I'm looking at that too. Were you surprised? Because you know what? Before you say that, I'm sorry. Before you answer that, I was looking at this picture and I said, well, 6 months later, I was like, is Kevan or Glenn about to be a daddy over here in the States and they don't know it? What's going on?
Daggone show ain't Glenn.
Daggone
show ain't Glenn.
He might have got to the skins before he got to the Guinness beer on his face.
Could be, but no, I don't believe it's Glenn. But yeah,
maybe they did spend the weekend together.
They did, but she said, "Hey, they ain't do nothing." So yeah, it's like how quickly, But wish her well, wish her a safe birth. She probably had her child already.
Yeah,
she's expecting, and that left hand still ain't got no ring.
My Lord. Guys, I don't know what to say. Let me go over here because you guys are chatting, and I missed some of the comments. So here, let me get back to that. And I said I was gonna come back to who had that comment. Oh my goodness! Speaking of Monica, she had the comment. Hold on.
2 comments ago, Amber made her choice off superficial things rather than seeking a person's character. I think Kevin saw a side that was unfriendly. No. But yeah, that too. Amber acted just like Monica. Yeah. Chose a man for excitement.
Right. Okay, yeah. Amber made her choice of based on superficial things rather than seeing a person's character. Well, I think Cavan saw a side of Amber that is unfriendly. Unfriendly?
Yes,
No.
we don't know if she showed him her not so
Oh,
happy side.
oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Behind the scenes, outside of the cameras. Oh, like the
Mm,
the assertive. I was about to say
yes,
that A word. That
the
the
side that
assert.
Glenn saw.
Maybe not to that degree, but yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Amber, you had said this. It's something you picked up on early in the show. You had said this season. You said that she was showing us her representative, but nobody smiles and is happy and cackles and laughs and giggles like that all the time. You said that. You said
Yeah,
that.
if you are exuberant like that and a boisterous laugh and all that, I need to know what you are like when you're mad and when you're angry, when you're sad, disappointed. Because if you're that boisterous while happy, I'm thinking you're that boisterous in other, parts of the emotion on the color wheel of emotions. I'm just like that exuberance for happy. You're gonna be that exuberant when mad, and we saw it. She was even wearing the Guinness in her hair.
That's right. You know what? I never thought of that. I have to keep that in mind with people when I watch them. That when they're exuberant, when they're happy, that same energy can be just as exuberant when they're upset or angry or whatever,
Yeah,
disappointed, frustrated. Yeah. Let's see. Also to go to Africa, it would have been in her best interest to be honest with him because he eventually learned everything when he watched the show. It would not be helpful in having a viable relationship with him. Good point, because I always wonder with these shows, just like this one, Love is Blind and Ready to Love, and any of these reality shows, there's always these confessionals where the dater is saying something underhanded, maybe sometimes to us, the audience. And then I think, well, they end up with this person, and now that person has to go back and watch this. What are they thinking now that they're
right,
dating this person? Like, what?
right.
Very good point. Excellent point. Um, no ring, but she's expecting.
Right. This is 6 months later.
Mm, mm,
Okay.
mm. Yeah. Amber,
We wish her well.
we wish you well. We wish you well. We wish you well.
So she
Uh,
won't be on the next season. Okay. She
Yeah,
will
no,
not.
she will not be on the next season with the baby. With the my mother used to always hate this when the young girls would walk down the street and have the baby on their hip. She's like, "Oh, I can't stand it! Don't you carry your baby on your hip? That just looks so tacky." So I can
Right.
picture Amber walking down the streets of Houston with the baby on her hip.
Right. So
With all that said and done, guys, thank you for sticking with us for this 14-week show. We've learned a lot about some things about Singapore, about Brazil, and about Ireland, and all very beautiful places to go. If you had a free ticket to go to one of these countries, which country would you pick, El Cid, and why?
that's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult because I like all of them for different reasons. But
Hmm.
I probably would pick Ireland. We saw great beauty in the landscaping and so forth. Though
Hmm.
all of them did showcase their cities in a different way, Ireland certainly showed its landscape in a wonderful way. I promise I won't be throwing Guinness at anyone. Um, but definitely I it will be also barriers to entry won't be there because it's an English speaking country as well. But I would like to go bar hop in Ireland for a bit. Where would you want to go?
I actually want to go to Singapore now that I've seen it. I just love the modern architecture, and from what I've heard from you and others, that there's such a nice sprinkling and sampling of different nationalities that also live there because it's just such a the country is doing so well. I would like to go to Singapore.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
maybe see if I could
amazing.
get maybe see if I could catch
EJ.
EJ on his bodybuilding show with very little on, scantily clad. I mean, I can look, right?
Definitely look.
I could definitely look. You guys drop down in the comments. Let us know if you had a free ticket. The show was giving you a someone was giving you a free ticket to go to any of these three countries, Brazil, Singapore, or Ireland. Which country would you pick and why?
And K Sharp, we dealt with Tony in the first 2 minutes of the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, we didn't forget about them. We got all the daters. I made sure we got
Yeah.
every single one of the daters. And thank you so much for watching. Yeah, just go back and catch the first few minutes of the show. That was very easy to catch up on that. But everybody, make sure you like the video, that you can share out the video, subscribe to our channels, and make sure you put that notification on too, so you know the next time when we go live. El Cid, over to you. What do you have going on your channel right now?
Well, last week I just wrapped up King's Court. We see which queens were crowned and which were dethroned and sent home. So I definitely have a recap of each episode of that season. This Thursday I have a surprise. I'm waiting for confirmation before I can put it out there. But
Ooh.
Thursday, definitely make sure you have my notifications on for, I love my 5 o'clock. On
Ooh.
Friday, I have, El Cid Unscripted. That's where we talk about any and everything. And as K Sharp said here, we need to talk about certain things about traveling. But also Saturday, I cover Love is Blind France. That live for this week's episodes airing tomorrow will be Saturday at noon EST. Project Runway, the fashion show, that will be coming up Saturday at 5:05. We grade the designs, we the public. And Sunday, I'm going to be doing Married at First Sight UK at noon on Sunday, probably with with other folks, but and our very own JR that's here. But yeah, that I'm trying to expand to the UK audience. I know my US audience, y'all can't really see it, but if I find it, I will post the link to it for you guys. But I'm watching it via VPN. But I do want to
Yeah, that's what I was
expand
gonna
my
say.
European audience. Yeah, I want to expand the European audience who are supportive of not only my Love is Blind France lives, but they're also supportive of Love is Blind Brazil, which that live is Sundays at 5 o'clock. And if you are a member of my channel, we do our member live grown folk conversation Monday nights at 8 o'clock EST. But I have a
Okay, yeah.
surprise for Thursday. I'm hoping to get out there by tomorrow.
Oh, is that? Can I ask? I mean, just a little hint. Is that a possible interview?
It's an interview, but I can't say who it is.
Right, right, right. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that is so exciting. So much going on over there. I love it. I love it. I love it. And guys, we'll be back here on Sunday. What is that? 6:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with JR and Ron Freeman to cover up the last to cover up or to cover the last of the Ready to Love Philly reunion part 2, and it looks like already it's going to be quite a pistol. Okay, so check in with us on that, and we'll see you soon. You ready to shake and shimmy on out of here?
Shake on out of here.
All right, here we go.